Yes, the title is not clickbait. I have dropped out of college to pursue becoming a Minecraft YouTuber. Oh, we are so back. Now, before you write in the comments that this is a dumb idea, first off, fuck you. I don't care what you write in the comments because the fact that you're writing about me shows that I'm more important than you right now. So yeah, you fucking dumb shit. I get ad revenue from you clicking on this video, so who's the dumb flippity flip now? You're probably wondering how this came to be. How did you go from an easy, peaceful life to fighting what is known as your audience? And originally I was going to discuss the backstory and how it all came to be, but I've slowly realized upon the original release that number one, nobody watched the video, and number two, I came off as being a bit too liberal when discussing this topic, which, as you can imagine, has prompted a lot of people to open their mouths. So let's set the record straight. If you think this is a decision by some teenager who's about to throw their whole life away, you're very mistaken. I'm 21. Thank you very much. And if you think you can go and lecture someone else on how they should go about their life, you clearly haven't been looking at yourself enough. TLDR. Shut the fuck up. Second thing is, I know many people will be like, don't put all your eggs in one basket. But what people don't ask is, were there any eggs to begin with? Spoiler alert. Not many. Right now, I've got nothing to lose becoming a Minecraft YouTuber. Okay, some of you will say, well, you are on track to getting a degree, even though I haven't told you what it is. Okay, but you are on track to having a good career. Do you even know what I was studying? Have you checked the statistics? Big Shack is not looking good right now. Not only that, I was studying the worst major you could have picked at this point in history. You want to know what that is? Computer science. Computer science. Are we taking the fucking piss? That's not even getting into the fact that I didn't like computer science. But hey, on track to having a good career, I guess. Are you fucking stupid? And this is just the tip of the iceberg. The point is, you don't even know who I am. You don't know what I'm capable of. For all you guys know, I could be in the next Mr. Beast gaming video and you wouldn't have a clue. You wouldn't have a clue what trick I've got up my sleeve. Because unlike most YouTubers who are going to tell you they had no idea how they got this lucky, like they just cluelessly walked into fame, which is partially true. They absolutely knew what they needed to do to get to the top. You didn't see all the back end work they put in over the years. You heard that. Years. It didn't happen in a day. It happened probably 1 week throughout all of those years. Heck, it might have even happened at the very beginning, and they were ready for it. That's just how luck works. And I know how it must feel looking in. Sometimes I'm just as baffled as you guys. I'm like, how can some chud on the internet get into that position? Bro, if I had his physique, I would have died from a heart attack. So I get where people are coming from, and it doesn't feel fair. Now, that being said, if you think this is a risky move, that's what you think. I'm not here to judge whether or not you think this is a good or a bad idea, because fundamentally, we are different. What's important to you might not be important to me. What you want isn't necessarily what I want. And God forbid, our situation is not the same, which is why answering that question comes down to your own intuition. Not everyone's the same. For a vast majority of people, becoming a Minecraft YouTuber would be a disaster. Why? Because most people don't actually want it in the first place. You know what people want? It's this. Shock horror. I already made this decision a year ago. Bet you didn't know that. Bet you didn't know I've been making videos for nearly 6 years with debatable success. I bet you don't even know why I started in the first place. And believe me, it had nothing to do with this. When I started this journey 5 years ago, I was on Minecraft, I was playing some mini games, and I wanted to showcase that to the world. I seen what other YouTubers were doing at the time, you know, the Tommy and it's the Technoblades, and it looked fun. I could do that. And over the course of making those videos, I was beginning to have a lot of fun. Granted, I didn't have a PC at the time. I had a phone and CapCut. So when I finally got the chance to build a PC, I was stoked. Mainly because editing on a phone is nothing like what it was back in the day. And I felt like I was being held back. So boom, I started making videos on PC and I was popping off. That was a lie, by the way. I was still learning how to edit, and by no means was I consistent. I was learning, and that was beginning to pay off. There was just one slight problem. I was in college. I'd been studying by this point, doing these Minecraft videos on the side, and you might think that's great. Why wouldn't you keep it that way? And to answer that, first off, I didn't like what I was studying, and it's not like I hated it. I was good at it, but I didn't like it. Now, no one cared that I didn't like it, but every time I'd bring up that I was working on this channel that I did care about, my parents would be like, okay, you're wasting your time. Friends would be like, when are you getting a part-time job? So it should come as no surprise that when I picked computer science for university, I was not happy with that decision. I didn't want to make that decision, but I also had my parents breathing down my neck, and who knows what they'd do if I didn't go. When I was studying college/university, it went great. For about a year, I'd got the channel moving, I'd got great marks in all my classes, and I was popping off. There's no way I was gonna fuck everything up. I fucked everything up. Going into the summer that year, I was making videos, but I'd become complacent. I was burnt out from making Minecraft content, and I'd ran out of ideas. Which isn't exactly what you want when you're about to go into your sophomore year, studying computer science. Yeah, you know the computer science I didn't like studying? Yeah. Now, you might think the logical thing would be to take a gap year, but I wasn't performing with this channel, and I was mad. Clearly not mad enough, though, because it didn't get to my head that I did a shit job. And now look at what's happened. The gates of hell were about to open, and hell did they open. Now, it all started off fine. We were introduced to the course material, and it looked like the dust had settled. But one morning, during the first day of teaching, I woke up, and I wasn't feeling too well. I'd gotten sick. Now, I thought it must be nothing. I'm just gonna pull up to my class as usual. I just woke up on the wrong side of the bed, and it was only when I took my seat I'd realized just how bad things were gonna get. And oh, it got bad. I was sick for 2 weeks, and by the time I'd recovered, I'd fallen behind, which is normal. That wasn't the problem. The problem was when I tried to claw things back, I fell further behind. And that continued throughout the rest of the year. The more I pushed myself, the worse it got. And look, I don't need to tell you the rest of the story. But you know what I've learned? It's that the wall is there for a reason. And it's to show how badly you want something. And there will come a point where you're going to do something, and because you don't like it, you're not going to maximize the most out of yourself. I didn't think you needed to like something to get through it at a degree level, but that's probably because I had something I did like, which was making these videos, which I couldn't make because I lost all my time having to catch up, and I hated life. I hated everything. I had nothing in common with my classmates. If anything, they made me more angry because they'd put in less work, get higher results, all the while they gave you the impression that they didn't even care. Now, some of you might say, boo-hoo, that's just life. But at the end of the day, I had a choice. I hated that I had no control over the circumstances I was given, and I brought that upon myself. That happened because instead of pursuing making content, instead of capitalizing on the momentum I had going for me, I learned that I'd gone the wrong way, and so I dropped out. Now, granted, my options weren't that good to begin with. It was either that or get a bad mark on my degree, and I didn't come here to lose. But you want to know why I chose my degree? Money. Of course it was. No wonder I lost. One time I thought, yeah, am I going to be proud of myself if I'm dead in a year chasing the same money that everyone is vying for? Because money doesn't dance on its own, and I was going to have a boring life the way things were going. I had a guy tell me after I fell short of passing my semester exam. He asked me, why are you so hard on yourself? And I've never felt more upset seeing someone who doesn't care defeat you at something. Like, that was the most humiliating experience. But it's also an experience that makes you look at what's important and what I want to get out of myself. Now, since then, I've taken a break from making Minecraft content for about a year. And it's only recently I've realized I'm still not as prepared as I need to be. Which begs the question, why should I, out of all the YouTubers you see, be the one you watch the most? It's because I said so. Look, the whole point of this video is not to say I'm gonna win because I already know that. It's to set the stage for what you're about to see. And whilst most people will say anyone can do it, very few can deliver it. Look, this is not some emotional decision. This is the here and now. And while you're gonna have the doubters who will say, oh, it's not gonna put bread on the table, that's because we're about to do a lot more than just that. And hey, I might have not known what it took then, but I know now. And it starts with the idea. So hit that subscribe button and join my Discord. You won't regret it. My name is Dundee, and I'll see you there.